Welcome to Travel with Danny and MJ. I'm Mary Jane.
And I'm Danny. We're traveling the world with just carry-ons and a backpack each.
Follow along on our adventures ahead.
So Istanbul has a lot of history. Palaces, it's amazing.
We're going to show you a few of the palaces that we went to, and they are incredible. The first one, Topkapi Palace, we took a tour there, and the guide walks you through a lot of the rooms, a lot of the space, so you really hear about what you're seeing, which is great. And then they let you go, and you can tour the grounds, which are magnificent, and the views, wow, because there's a lot of water surrounding Istanbul, so you'll get to see how incredible it is.
This is the Topkapi Palace. It's gardens overlooking the sea. It's a very pretty area. Apparently the gardens are very large. We're going to stroll around a little bit. Take a look. It does have pretty gardens around this palace. Now we've entered into the palace grounds itself. Like we're on the garden area outside of the actual palace, Topkapi Palace. And now we're in the interior courtyard.
This is the threshold to the harem. The black eunuchs, who were enslaved men from Africa, lived here and guarded the harem. Their loyalty and discretion were essential. They controlled access and managed communication between the inner and outer palace worlds. There are multiple private baths in the harem for the Sultan, the Validi Sultan, and others, and we are in the Sultan's baths. They are exquisitely designed with domed ceilings pierced by small glass bulbs that let in soft, ethereal light. Marble fountains and heated floors added to the atmosphere of sensual luxury. This was the heart of the harem here in Imperial Hall, where formal gatherings and family events took place. The architecture is awe-inspiring. Soaring domes, ornate chandeliers, and symbolic motifs reinforce the divine authority of the Sultan. It was here that the Sultan would appear before the women of the harem.
So this is a balcony in the harem section of the Topkapi Palace. You can see off in the distance there the Galata Tower.
This is the courtyard of the Validi Sultan, who was the Queen Mother. She was the most powerful woman in the empire. Her apartments were luxuriously decorated with Iznik tiles, gilded woodwork, and stained glass. Her influence extended into imperial politics, and her quarters reflected the grandeur of it.
This is the fourth courtyard of the Topkapi Palace. As you go further in, it becomes more and more private to the Sultan. This was really just for the Sultan and family to be back here. This is a balcony off of the treasury area. It's overlooking the Bosphorus and over to the Asian side of Istanbul. In the fourth courtyard, it's really pretty for the royal family, I suppose. Fountains and beautiful terraces to overlook the city. This is looking over the other side of the Golden Horn, which is the waterway that cuts the European side of Istanbul, the southern part to the northern part. There's the Galata Tower as well. This is the third courtyard area, and it was for Sultan's family and officials. So official business could be done here. There's a room, it's called the audience chamber, and it's where visiting ambassadors or dignitaries, heads of state would meet with the Sultan. So the audience room has two different fountains, one on the inside, one on the outside, which was meant to mask the sounds of the conversations going on in there. This is the second courtyard. and it is more for ceremonies. So the public is not allowed in here normal days, but if there's a ceremony or some special presentation happening, then this is where the Sultan or some official would come out and make that presentation or that speech. Building over there is the armory, and then that was the entrance to the harem. That's where we went through earlier. And on this side, we're going to go in hopefully and see. This is where the kitchens, this whole wall side with these very large smokestacks. They would have kitchens just for dessert, just a room just to prepare the beverages, and so on. This is the first courtyard. We were in early, we were in the other day, but this is just open to everyone, and anyone can get in here. There's no entrance fee.
So after Topkapi Palace, we went and we visited this beautiful park, Gülhane Park, which is right near the National Archaeological Museum as well.
So when we went to the Archaeology Museum, we had an appointment. So we walked there to make sure we knew where we were going, and we had to walk uphill. And then we had time, so we said, let's go to the park. So then we had to go way downhill. And then to get back to our appointed time, we had to go uphill. There's a lot of that in Istanbul. It's worth it, but oof, it's a good leg workout. Take a look at this. We're in Gülhane Park, one of Istanbul's most cherished green spaces. It was originally part of the outer gardens of the Topkapi Palace, and it was reserved for the royal court. In 1839, it became the site of the proclamation of the Edict of Gülhane, which marked the beginning of reforms in the Ottoman Empire, and the park was opened to the public in 1912. This is the Gülhane fountain. So there's actually 3 of them, and it was restored in 1913, and somewhere, we can't find it, it has an Ottoman Turkish inscription that celebrates rejuvenation or revitalization of the park, and it reads, "The eye of the water of life is this fountain. Centuries passed, and no one realized. Someone trustworthy newly renovated it and truly gave life to Gülhane Park." It's pretty. The Column of the Goths is the oldest surviving Roman monument in Istanbul. It stands almost 61 feet, 18.5 meters, and it's in the northern part of Gülhane Park. It was carved from a single block of marble, and it features a Corinthian capital once adorned with an eagle, symbolizing imperial power.
This is the National Museum of Archaeology, major museum of archaeology for Turkey. It was the first national museum in Turkey. It consists of 3 buildings, but only one of them is currently in operation. 2 of the other ones are under renovation. So this primary building is now open. The building over here, which looks pretty beautiful, is currently under renovation. And then there's a 3rd building kind of through those trees over there that's also under renovation. It's this main museum is full of Greek and Roman and Islamic art treasures, excavations, and also has a full section on the history of Troy through the centuries. We are in the Museum of Archaeology. Lots of interesting things here. These are all sarcophagi, I guess is the right word for it. This one in particular is called Alexander's. It portrays Alexander the Great on it, but it's not Alexander the Great's sarcophagus, which has not been discovered, but it's certainly not here. It's probably in Alexandria. It was found in Lebanon at that time and transported here for display.
So then we visited Galata Tower, which was a tower built in the medieval times in the 14th century, and it is certainly one of the iconic landmarks of Istanbul.
It's definitely worth going to. We wanted to get there for sunset. We heard it was really fantastic, so we planned our time around that. And we got on this long line, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to be on this line, and the sun is going to set." It was very slow because there's like 2 elevators up, but you do take an elevator up. So once we got up there, and it's like 2 levels at the top, it's totally worth it. We just love seeing a city, first of all, from above, and then transform, you'll see, from light to twilight to night. And it's a circular building, so we just kept walking around and around and around. And we realized we had like hundreds of pictures because there's this view in the light, and there's this view at twilight, and there's this view 10 minutes later.
We barely missed the actual sunset, but the sky, was beautiful orange colors. Yeah. And then, as Mary Jane says, it progressed to the night sky. Yeah, and really, it was really cool. And the weather was perfect, and it's like a very sort of narrow path that you're going around the outside, but really good. And then to exit, you walk down a lot of steps, and there's like museums on different levels. So you'll see what we're talking about.
So we're at the Galata Tower, waiting to go up. Hopefully we'll get up by sunset because it's supposed to be nice, but it's a pretty long line to get up there. We'll see. Alright, made it to the top of the Galata Tower just after sunset. Got some nice twilight here. Bridges across the Golden Horn. This is the Bosphorus side of the Galata Tower. Cruise ship in over to Asia, to the southern side. The bridge with the restaurants on it. Ferry port. You can hear the evening call to prayer here. This is where the Golden Horn comes, meets into the Bosphorus. The lights of the city are coming on. It gets darker here. Really pretty looking over the Golden Horn.
The last palace on our kind of historical tour around royal, let's say, Istanbul was Dolmabahçe Palace. And you'll hear me struggle with saying that many times in the video. it is the baby of these palaces, only built in the 18th century.
Yeah.
Or 19th century.
19th century. So yeah, it's very young compared to pretty much everything else in Istanbul. And yeah, we have not mastered the name Dolmabahçe. Don't ask us how to spell it because there's some, different letters in there. But it's beautiful and it's more European and modern, but you're not able to take photos inside. So unfortunately, we don't have any that have grand chandeliers and of course the furniture. But what you will see is the grounds, the gardens, and the views. This is right on the water. They know how to pick a place to put a palace.
That is true. Have a look.
So we're entering the Dolmabahçe Palace. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. I'll probably be instructed on how to say it later. There's one of the palaces here. Okay, we're leaving Dolmabahçe Palace. You weren't allowed to take any pictures inside, so just one more shot of the outside. I think I got the pronunciation right now anyway, or as close as my Turkish is going to be. Really beautiful.
So we hope you enjoyed our palatial tour of Istanbul.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for traveling with Danny and MJ.
We look forward to seeing you on our next adventure.